Okay, so as for you, I just created one document. Okay, so using this we can understand, okay, what is APN and what is the best scenario to use the APN basically. Yeah, so in the first session we already covered what is APN. Yeah, and what are the benefits, and just we just kicked off. Okay, so now today we are going to cover, so let me just open the notepad. Okay, we are going to cover is why APN, business use case. Then we'll see APN platform, glance, and last we'll see the APN architecture. Okay, so here you can see, like, basically there are three different perspectives to use the APN. Okay, there is nothing, okay, will come into your exam, but as per you, okay, whenever someone asks, so it's always good to understand what are the different approach and when can we use the APN basically as a solution. Okay, so here you can say systematic, operational, as well as a business perspective. Yeah, so what we are covering in a systematic approach, so that is, okay, definitely we'll go through the architecture, so we'll get more idea. Okay, so here you can see systematic approach means, like, how we are dealing with the environment. Okay, so we need an orchestration layer on the top of the existing backend system. So basically APN is divided into the three different layers. So the first one is, we can say, data layer. Second one we are saying is presentation layer. And the last but not least, that is a application layer. As the name suggests, okay, data layer, okay, what it will hold the data related activities. We'll go in depth as well. Presentation layer is what? Front end, okay, like look and feel. And whenever it's application, so a build, or we can say design or develop. So that's how the total layer of the APN are divided into. Yeah, so we have orchestration layer, then we have greenfield business application. Okay, so here you can see, whenever we need to introduce a new product and it's not for something that can be delivered using the existing system due to its uniqueness. So if a customer want to opt for APN, right? So why APN? So we can explain them and we can just showcase our environment, which is definitely unique with respect to all other tools. So like, for an example, if I'm asking, like, let's say Pravina, yeah, you already have worked on this Power BI. Okay, so I believe you have your standalone platform. It's not like any Java, or not like any console, right? So every language has its own platform, yeah, that we are code. Likewise APN does have. So that is what the uniqueness of the APN. Okay, extension. Okay, here you can see it's very easy. Okay, whenever we need to add any more functionality to APN, so we have, in the first day as well, I showcased you the app market. Yeah, so using the app market, if I want to merge two PDF, okay, for my application, so I can simply go to the app market, download that plugin and add. So that is nothing but we can easily extend and we can easily utilize that particular plugin to our application seamlessly. Yeah, modernization. So here you can see developing a replacement on APN can be viable approach, many times also an opportunity to modernize underlying business process. So basically modernize is what, let's say business said, okay, we need a form to build having 4 to 5 different fields, and we need to have a submit button. Okay, so this is a basic form that we can build. But in APN we have a great UI, or let's say UX approach, where can be built in different layouts, so it will definitely give the rich look and feel. So that is what the modernization concept is in the systematic perspective, and replace the pseudo system. So that is nothing but like right now, okay, okay, there, I believe you guys heard the Crystal report. Yeah, Crystal report generally generated by the VB tool, or let's say .NET C# tool Studio, basically MS Studio. So definitely Microsoft, we need to pay Microsoft for that report if you want a report from that. Okay, but here we can create our own report. Okay, and we can easily download it, we can easily modify it, show to the customer. So okay, it will also replace the pseudo system. So these are the main point with respect to the system perspective. And whenever it's an operational perspective, so here you can see, just note it down, like a business process involves a multiple areas of the company. So for example, a company is a pharma base, so we can build as many of application with respect to every module of the pharma. Let's say drugs, okay, so drugs, okay, let's say high drugs, low drugs, or medium drugs. Like if someone have a fever, okay, throat infection, so that is known as a low. Yeah, if someone have suffering through some like bronchitis or high disease, so we can just create some different module for everything. Yeah, then here we can see data needs to be shared across the teams. So if I created a database, okay, like for an example, as I told you, a table in a database is known as a CDT in APN. So I created a CDT in APN, so that CDT we can utilize in any of the application. So no need to recreate the same. So we can use across any of the modules. Then here we can say additional system are needed on the backend. So whenever we have, yeah, basically APN platform. Okay, so there are two different platforms. So the one is on-premise, and second one is cloud-based. Or okay, it will cover the AWS as well, Amazon Web Service. Yeah, so it's a cloud-based. So there are two different domain platform that APN runs on. Okay, so whenever it's a on-premise, so basically banking customer, okay, utilize this most due to the
So
control.
generally, Rutul, like everything, now everything is moving from on-premise to on cloud.
That is correct. So still,
So,
whenever why I mentioned the banking customer, so the thing is that
mm-hmm,
okay, they have very meaningful or very important data, right, to deal with.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
mm-hmm,
so I believe whenever it's on cloud, so I think you also hear somewhere in the cognizant, okay, a year or 1.5 year ago, there is a ransomware attack happened. Okay,
mm-hmm.
in most of the cognizant side. So whenever it's on cloud, so it is easily, everyone can if there is a hacker, so they can easily hack the system if it is a cloud, because whenever it's on premise, so they it will install with the additional certification. Okay, so security mechanism, security certification, that's all are there. Okay, so whenever I'm saying on premise and on cloud based, why they are moving to on premise to cloud? Okay, so I can count, like first thing is that version. Okay, version upgrade. So version upgrade is not happen every quarterly in the on premise platform or environment. Okay, when in cloud it does. Okay, so as I said, every 3 months there is one new upgrade, there is one new version. Okay, like currently it is 22.2. So coming almost June or July, sorry, almost in August or September, it will be 22.3, and following by the November, October, November, it will be 22.4. So in on-premise, until and unless we are not upgrading, okay, so there is no any new version we are getting. Okay, so explicitly we need to upgrade our environment in on-premise. Whether cloud-based is automatic. Okay, so for an example, today there is a 22.2, and if I take a licenses for my company, I have a company, and if I purchase a license for, like, we are getting up to 250 users, not more than 250 users at the time active. Okay, so for that I can get at least up to 4 years free upgrade. Okay, if I get a cloud base, which is the URL which ending with the .appiancloud.com. Okay, and the prefix will be the company name. Yeah, so likewise, that is a benefit of cloud base. Other than that, okay, so only advantage of using the on-premise with the customer only. Okay, it is more secure with respect to cloud base, but still in cloud base also more certification are coming up, and I believe in nearer almost till 23 end, I believe on all premise they are going to decommission. One more benefit using the on-premise, we can utilize any of the database. Okay, if I have a Postgre database, or and let's say cloud-based doesn't support the Postgre. Okay, so what are the database that clouds support? So the one by default, that is earlier it is a MySQL. Okay, now it is a MariaDB. Okay, second, definitely it support MySQL. Third one is SQL Developer or SQL Server, let's say, and it support ADB, and also it supports a PostgreSQL. So other than that, no any database are now supported by the cloud. Okay, so if I want any other, let's say Oracle. Okay, yeah, Oracle also support. Yeah, I think Oracle also supported by the cloud itself. Okay, other than that, any, okay, let's say Hadoop or any new database I need to use or utilize for my application, so we cannot do in the cloud base. So for that, definitely we need to go to the on-premise based. Okay, so these are the main criteria that still bank customer are still using the on-premise network. And when I'm saying control in terms of until and unless we are not connecting to the VDI of that particular customer, let's say Vanguard is a bank of in USA. Okay, Barclays is a bank in UK. So until unless we are not connecting to their network and we are not entering the RSA code that given by the client, we cannot log in to their network or to their VDI, let's say virtual instance, virtual desktop instance. So the control is with them, so that's the reason they are still using the on-premise. Is it clear? Are you getting this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
make
yes,
sure
Vital.
my case tomorrow I will ask you a question on this.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, so
Yes,
it's
sure.
really good.
So
Okay, whenever you
cloud-based
are cross
support
questioning, it's really good. Yeah, please.
so cloud-based platform is supporting just these six databases, right?
That is correct.
Whereas in
See,
on-premise we can use any database, you mean?
yeah, so on-premise environment doesn't come with by default database. Whether cloud-based will come with by default database.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, so we
It,
can take any database as customer required.
okay. 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 In
Yeah,
on-premise, right? Okay.
correct. But
Okay.
general, these database are enough, I believe. Okay, this nowadays world is using this six only, not more than that.
Uh-huh.
And they
Okay.
upgraded from MySQL to MariaDB is okay. Okay, I know the answer, but I would like to know from you guys. Tomorrow I will ask this question: why they upgraded earlier? They have a MySQL. So what are the advantages that MariaDB has that MySQL doesn't?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so where are we? Yeah, so we are at the point number this. Yeah, additional system are needed on the backend. So if I right now I have MariaDB and tomorrow I need Oracle, so still I can go to admin console, that is functionality or part of the APN environment. Okay, and we can add more database as well. Okay, here we can see job function would benefit from a single UI access multiple system. So as I said, sales itself stands for code once run anywhere. Yeah, so we have the UI for the customer information, so we can use the same UI for entire environment, whether we have a customer like customer system, okay, as an application, but someone is building some vendor system, so they can still using our UI. Okay, so it's always benefit, so no need to recreate it. And speed to market is critical. Okay, so whenever it says speed to market is critical, which means okay, whenever okay, right now it's 22.1. Okay, so whenever every 3 months, every quarter it is upgrading. Okay, so they are also downgrading the different current it is 22.2, so almost we cannot see the coding, okay, or the code that the application does have, that is 19.4. okay, in community if you open, okay, so let me quickly open the docs.apn. So here you can see till 20.3, right? So you cannot see anything beyond, okay, 20.3. So it's okay if I want to see what was there, what was a feature for 20.2, so we cannot go ahead and check it. So there is a limitation of 2 years basically. Okay, 4 version means a year. Okay, so there are 8 version, so there is a 2 years basically. Okay, including the current one. So it's always upgrading. Okay, day by day, definitely it is upgrading. Where is it? Okay, so you got this right. And where you can see for all this operational perspective, we require to use APN for developing a holistic process management which support better execution. This one is a business process, so it's nothing but a high level. The different applications are there: the claim operations and policy insurance underwriting, marketing, sales distribution. Okay, what are the benefits? What are the application we can build so far? Okay, HR onboarding system. So these are the business specific applications. So like we can say POCs. Okay, so we can create n number of POCs over there.
So which application we are going to work, Ratan?
No, you are going to learn the APN tool.
Okay, not the application. We are not
Exactly.
going to
So
define any
whenever,
application.
who is this? Shivani?
Yes,
Pravina? Shivani, right?
Shivani. Yes.
Shivani, yeah. So see, whenever you get a training from any trainer, okay, or any profession, so there are two approaches. So the first approach will be, okay, they will, might I guess you will see this, okay, they will start with the POC, let's say customer management. Yeah,
Hmm.
so they will take the help of POC, and day by day they will help you to create a different objects, and you need to create the same simultaneously.
Yes.
Correct? So
Yes.
that way what you learn, that way you learn, you learn UI, you can say process models, yeah, all these object now. But what you're lacking, so tomorrow if I ask why you use this, so you don't have the answer for why in that
Yes.
approach. Correct.
Yes.
So I am generally going with the second approach, where I will explain all Ys.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, and including and will you guys getting upgrade. Okay, and you will create a small POC at the end of the session.
Okay.
So I generally give the POC as an example, like practice. Okay, so so whenever you are anywhere, okay, whenever you are going through any training, anything, make sure you learn why. Okay, because UI process model, I believe you can learn from community as well. I think, yeah, UI is the easiest object that ever I see in any coding languages in Appian itself. Okay, so make sure if you are doing something, make sure you will ask the question why. Okay, never say okay you're this okay, it's not like that. Why you are using this? It's definitely it matters a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll go through that. So here I can say challenge with others. Yeah, so here I just just noted it down. Pega IBM, I already covered this, but yeah, I just noted it down. So it is less expensive. Okay, always lie to market due to the quarterly new upgrade. Okay, I believe you guys also can correlate this. Providing on-premise as well as the cloud-based environment to develop inbuilt component deploy functionality. So component deploy is nothing but whenever I want to move my code from one to other environment, so I can directly do from the application itself, from the environment itself. I don't need to go ahead and hit some other URL and again in that environment I need to deploy. It's not like that. It's always, it has an inbuilt component deploy functionality. Okay, that is known as a component deploy.
So we shall work on deployment.
Not deployment, but will definitely let you know how will you deploy, what are the consideration, what are the best practices, and what
Okay.
are the different status in the deployment. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because we are having only one environment. Okay, but we'll give you the 98% overview about it. Only 2% is that you just need to hit the button whenever you're in the live.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
then easy integration with third-party system. Okay, so it's an advanced topic basically. So whenever we want to work with CRM tool or SAP tool, so we can directly of their data in the APN, or we can give the access. Okay, so like we can create a UI, we can create a process in APN, and we can give the access to them. So CRM team tomorrow can also hit a process in APN as well. Yeah, using the web API. So integration for consuming while web API for exposing. Yeah, works with MySQL. These are the database: Oracle, SQL Server, MongoDB, MariaDB databases. Then CI/CD, it works in the CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, DevOps concept. Okay, it has an inbuilt RPA for automated test cases.
What do you
Okay, they
mean
just
by continuous integration and continuous delivery? I didn't understand that, Ratan.
okay. So whenever it's a continuous integration and continuous delivery, which means okay, so you are building one let's say, okay, let's take an example of agent lifecycle and performance management. Okay, you're building a POC of agent lifecycle and performance management. So let's say there are several modules, okay, that you need to deploy, you need to build. Okay, for that lifecycle you need to build different 4 modules. Okay, so here whenever it says CI/CD, so we are going to deploy each module. Okay, we are not going to wait for entire application to create. So we can go with the phase 1, 2, 3 and 3 and 4 deployment. Are you getting this? So we are going to deploy in the
I
phase
mean,
basically, rather than going with the
suppose
entire
it's,
application.
yeah, sorry, Ritul, to interrupt. As you said, like we'll be deploying it like based on quarter, something like that. For example, if we work on any thing now. So we'll be deploying it not only like after once the complete thing is completed, or how? I did not understand the point.
Okay, so let's say that is a agent lifecycle and performance management application that you are a part of. Okay, now that application is divided into the different four phases. Four phases in terms of every phase we are going to deliver something, because okay, that application will run for 2 years. Okay, we are getting a contract from some client. Okay, so definitely if I deploy after a 2 year, so how can they know we are working? Correct. So that's the reason we are just segregating the entire application into the phase, and we will say okay, will after 2 months or after 4 months we are going to release the phase one. So that is will integrate with them, okay, and will deliver the same thing to the same code to them, so they can taste it, and furthermore they can use it in the production.
Okay.
Okay.
You mean sprints, right?
Exactly, agile based.
Yeah, maybe sprint wise, yeah, agile methodology.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it is a, yeah, here you can say base fit for agile methodology approach. Yeah, so that is what the DevOps inbuilt. We have RPA for the automated test. They said they introduced the RPA, but right now we are not using it widely. Okay, but they just introduced. Okay, so we can taste it. Okay, so that is again comes with the advanced approach. Okay, so in 20.1 they introduced it. Okay, so here you can say provides level 1 and level 2 certificate exam completely free for its partner organization. Okay, so now they will give a 50%. Okay, we need to give the 50%. Okay, so like as I said, if you are not a partner, so like suppose, yeah, Pravina is from Capgemini. Okay, so she can get it in $100, $100, where others, if they are not partner. Okay, so Pravina, right, how to check that Capgemini is partner, correct? On where to check.
Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So if it is not partner, so it will cost 200 and something, 200 plus GST something. Yeah. Earlier before May 2021, it is completely free. So that's why I make this point, because almost 4 to 5 years they provided the free. No one can do this. Okay. It has more than 150, like, I can say high-end partners. Okay. Who are already adapted the APN, this primary technology.
So for
And
attempting level 1 and level 2, do we have any time frame, or we can attend them at a time? How?
time frame in terms of,
I mean, the sort of exam. Like for
time
example,
frame. Please.
if I want to take the level 1 exam now and immediately, can we do the level 2, or?
Yeah, even on the same day you can. Doesn't.
Okay, okay.
So here we have Examity portal. So we need to schedule the exam. I believe we already did this kind of thing earlier. Like say for our AI triple A or good set exam. Likewise, we need to schedule. We need to set up the time. Okay, and we can give it. But there is a prereq means if you want to give the level 2. Let's say now it's as I said, associate, senior, and lead. So if you want to give senior, then you must need to clear the associate first. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, will
okay.
the result of level 1 or associate level would be provided instantly after the exam, or
Yeah,
else would it
once you
take
click
some
on
time?
submit, okay, your heartbeat will starts. So on the next second you will get the result.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here you can see APN customers include 9 of the world's top 10 biotech and pharma companies. Okay, and 6 of the world's top 10 insurance companies. Okay, and 13 of the world's top 10 global banks. Okay, so that is, okay, it's not my word, but that is there in the APN portal, APN forum, and also there in one of the, in the Google also you can search. Okay, so what are the top 10 biotech and pharma? Okay, and search the name, and then you can search with the APN customers. So you will definitely find the name over there. So that's why APN is more stable since last I can say 10 years. Yeah, so it allow enterprise to build application up to 20x faster than the traditional code. Okay, so we can simply drag and drop, or we can simply, okay, if I want to like perform any, if I want to build a report, if I want to build a form, so we can do it instantly. I can say within 20 to 30 minutes we can design it. Okay, and for end-to-end application, okay, I believe we can design within an hour, not more than it. Okay, so when I'm saying I'm going to give you POCs and practice, so the time limit I'm going to set as an hour. Okay, in an hour you need to create all the object and run the application. Yeah, and I believe you will do that. Yeah, and highestly rated by the Gartner, that what I already said earlier as well. So it's a technology rating platform or provider, and Appian is also leader for low code application since last 2 years. Okay, 19 and 20. So here are the release histories. Okay, so the first version, okay, it's a Windows version, not supported in Mac, and they launch in 2004. Okay, and Appian started in 1999. Okay, after 5 years they launched this version. Okay, and first Android version and iOS 8 and Android 4.0, that is in 22nd Jan 2016. So make sure that you will remember Android and iOS compatibility will start in 16, whether Appian first launched in 2004. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Will you be sharing this document, Rutul?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
okay, so nowadays it's not required. Created this, but free trial is, I don't think so. Let me check. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so we have our on site they're providing. So this trial based environment already they stopped. Okay, earlier we need to go through these XYZ things. Okay, so okay, we still have, we can cover this definitely. Yeah, now as I said, where is that? Yeah, here we go. Appian architecture. Yeah, so as I said, it is segregated into the 3 different layers. Okay, so this is what, let me just maximize it. Is it visible to you guys?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is visible, Rutul.
Oh, so here you can see, first thing, build once, run anywhere. So that is what the concept of sale. Here we can say use, build, extend, and administer. Yeah. So use is what, like we can interact with the end user UI. UI is nothing but the web and mobile. Let's say Windows, Mac, iOS, and Androids. Build, so build and deploy applications. So we can build it and we can deploy over the any environments. Extend, so using the embedded UI we can extend the API to the outside world as well, and manage the site configuration. So we can create a site as well in the API. Okay, so basically you need to understand, okay, here let's say first we'll go through the data layer. Okay, so whenever I'm saying API engines, so what do you understand by engines in general? What do you think? Anyone?
Gives power
Yeah, where you can see the engine.
in a car. You mean
Exactly.
that way?
Yeah, yeah, that is correct. In general I'm asking. Yeah, that is correct. So without engine we cannot start any vehicle. Yeah, likewise Appian also required an engine to start to run. Okay, so basically we go back to the notepad. So what data layer consists of? So the first is Appian engines. Okay, So whenever I'm saying engine, so definitely you have a question, what are the engines that Appian generally use? Okay. So basically, okay, it is again segregated into 4 different. So the first one is process execution. Second one, we can say process analytics engine. Third one, we can say we are using the engine for the legacy portal. We'll see what is that. And last one is nothing but the individual. Okay, so basically Appian consists of 15 engines. At a time, and if we want to add more engines, so we can also add up to 64 engines, okay, for everyone. So whenever I'm saying process execution, so if we build a process, okay, so if we want to run that particular process data, so definitely whenever it says process, we need to execute the process. So likewise, if you see in the DB, yeah, in the DB we have, if you build a store procedure, so you are executing that, right? Likewise, after building a process model, we need to execute it. So that's why it will use and it will run on the process execution engine. And in Appian we have a 3 process execution engine. And generally it will use for process data. Whenever I'm saying analytics, so again we do have 3 process analytics engines, and it will generally use for analytics, nothing but whenever any calculation comes into the picture. So whenever we are building any expression rule, definitely these are based on the function. So let's say rules, then interfaces, as well as the metadata. So for
What
that
does the
we are using this
metadata mean?
metadata. Who can answer?
Yes.
I believe yeah, Pravina, do you know what is the metadata?
Yeah, generally, like we have example, we have the data within the data.
Exactly. So the data of the data, that is known as a metadata.
Huge
Okay.
data basically.
Data contains the data. Just like an example, uh, the same example, you can explore the multiple companies if you want to purchase a vehicle, right? So the data having Honda, Mercedes, Audi, yeah. Likewise, but in that Honda, it also consists of the different models, different year of releases. So data within the data. That is a real time example that I can best give.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay. Yes. Yes, understood the example. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the basic functionality of an engine? Why are we use, what is why do we need just in order to get started we need engines, that's it?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Definitely, without any spark, you cannot self start, or you cannot kick your either Activa, bike, or car.
Yes.
So how
Right?
basically how it is configured, Ritul, how the engine
It
is
is
configured
configured.
here?
It is configured from the backend. And if you want to see, so definitely we can go to the process history or
Mm-hmm.
metrics. There we can find this process will run on this engine. This process executed on this engine. Okay, we can identify that while we are on the process model. Yeah,
For
and whenever I'm saying,
example,
Mhm.
sorry. For example, now in APN we are creating one of the application, and as you mentioned, generally like APN is using around 15 engines, and we can
Mhm.
even extend up to 64.
Correct.
So how
Not
basically like
50. not 15 to
Mhm.
64, but this
Mhm.
3 to 64. We can extend a particular engine up to 64.
Mhm.
Yeah, please tell me.
Okay, nothing. Yeah.
No, you're asking something, right? 3 to 64. So you're asking how basically we can add it, right? That what your question, I believe.
Yeah, like I just want to know like how based on the application or how we can know how many engines can we use for a particular application.
So generally application, okay, will run on the application servers. Okay. So
Okay.
definitely it will also occupy the individual engine. So application will occupy the individual engines. Okay, let's say engine one. So we have a, okay, yeah, come back to your question. So what is the question is how will,
How can we know that a particular I mean, for example, now we are developing an application in APN, and how can we
okay.
know that we need to use these many engines for this particular thing?
So, okay, definitely. That we are not knowing. First thing, by default, Appian is already providing three process execution engine. Okay, when we have, let's say more than 1,000 process. Okay, so the limitation of the three engine will be up to the 1,000 processes. So if the 1,000 processes are exclude, okay, executed, and still all of the processes are on system, so that time Appian admin will come and they will going to add the engines, okay, from the backend.
Okay.
So whenever it's a flooded, then they will, okay, to balance the load, they will add the engines.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, just like we are going for short running train, we have one engine. If you want to go for long run, so definitely they will take a halt and add one more engine, correct, in the train as well. Yeah, so they know it won't run this much, so they will add more engines, correct, if we are traveling a long trip, correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, likewise. Okay, so that is how you can explain anyone as a real time. Okay, so make sure execution for executing a process data, analytics for performing the let's say arithmetic based or calculation based perform let's say expression rule interface. Okay, legacy portal generally we are using for the web services. And again, we have a legacy engine. They are using legacy portal. So again, three engines we do have. Web service, definitely it will. Okay, what are the web service quickly?
Web service,
Correct.
we expose
Rest
a
and SOAP.
yes, rest and soap.
Yeah, so these are the web service. Do you know this, Sivani?
Yes, Rutul.
Okay, perfect. And we do have the individual engines, so it will balance the load of the server or let's say environment. Okay, so why they are, okay, we do have a six, okay, six individual engine. So if my process is running, okay, on engine number one, okay, I have a sub process. So generally we have, if we are using start process, so that it will also occupy one more engine, so it will running on engine two. Okay, likewise it will change the flow. Okay, and whenever all engines are let's say occupied, so that time also I need to run a process and I need to make sure my process never stops. Okay, so that time this individual engine will again utilize as a PE engine. So just like a joker card. Okay, so they can act as, okay, if the execution engine will having more load, so they will take one more engine and adjust the load. Likewise for analytics, likewise for legacy portal as well. It will only use, okay, just like we are taking, like there's a bonus. Okay, so if they are occupied, okay, then only this will comes into the picture. Got it? Understand? Am I audible? Not sure.
Yes, Rutul. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
So that is what about the engine is. Okay. Now second, we the part of the data server will discuss the data, and rest application and presentation we'll discuss tomorrow. Yeah. So the second one is database. That is a part of the data layer. Okay. So nothing but we are working with the multiple database over here, as I said.
Rutul, one question, Rutul.
Yeah, please.
Uh, in Appian engines, these are the default engines which are being
Correct.
set for different for each one, right?
Operations.
What is
Yes.
the maximum? Yes, for what is the maximum engines we can have for process execution? Is there any limitation, or else
Yeah,
we
that is a
don't have?
64. That what I said, right? Process, let's say engines extended up to 64.
Okay, for each and every for each one.
Yeah, uh, let me make it simple. Yeah,
Okay. And in case if there is any decrease in performance, then individual engines will balance the load, right?
correct, correct. That's why these individual engines comes into the picture.
Okay, right, Ratul. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, perfect. As I said, Appian will work on and support this. So as you can see in the figure, we do have a SQL Server, then Oracle, and MariaDB. You can say MVMDB. Okay, here you can see PostgreSQL. It also support the ADB as well, XSDB, but nowadays no one are using it. Okay, so basically it will support. These are the different. Let's start with the MySQL. Okay, make sure you will come back with why MariaDB. Okay, they introduce other than MySQL. Okay, so this is what about the database part of the data layer. The third part will be data server.
MySQL and SQL Server both are different, Ratul.
Exactly, MySQL is freeware, right? Generally, we are using PHP, right? WAMP we are seeing. In PHP, we have
Uh-huh.
MySQL, correct? SQL Server is of Microsoft one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, we can say MS SQL Server.
Okay. Do not have much knowledge on that. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Good question. Okay, coming to data server. Okay, basically, yeah. If I created an application, okay, so that application will contains the data related objects. We have generally, we'll see in next session, might be tomorrow itself. So in data related object, we have CDTs. We do have a data store. Okay. So in process model, we have a data management tab where we can set if my process will complete. Okay, so it will stay in the server or in my environment till 3 days or 4 days. Okay, so till that 3-4 days it will occupy in, okay, in the data server. If I want to say, okay, I don't want the process to be there, okay, so we can go ahead and delete the process in the data management. So we can set the period, okay, but basically whenever it's an archive, if I set any archive period, so it will be come in the data server. Okay, so basically I can say first thing is that application patch. Okay, so I created an application, and if I want to deploy few of the objects to the higher environment, that time I will add those objects. Let's say I will select 3 to 4 objects and will add to the patch or add to the package. So that package or patch will be there on the data server for a time being, for a temporary basis. So that's why, okay, will patch or package store and data server for the time being. Till checks deployed. Okay, so that is a first use that we are using data server. Second, as I said, this data management concept. We have a archival. Okay, so when you set any archive time, so till that archive time, let's say 3 days, it will be there. Okay, and the third one is that if I created some record, and in that record if I created a filters explicitly, so that for particular record, okay, the filter that I set explicitly, okay, I want to filter out this record with this, until unless I did not reset or clear, so that record filter also will store in the data server as well. Clear on this part? It's
Record
straightforward, right?
server, can you please repeat once again?
So let's say you have a customer record, right? In you created
Yes.
one record. So record is nothing but silos of informations, correct? So in that customer information, okay, you have a multiple columns. Let's say customer name and let's say address, city, country, XYZ. Let's say 15, 16 column. But that time, if you say okay, like there are much more information. So I only want to see the name, ID, and address and telephone number. So that time you will do the filtering, right? The same thing that we are doing
Yes.
in the Excel sheet sometimes, right? We are filtering the records, correct? I want only this 4 column. So whenever you're doing filtering, so rest of the let's say there are 15 fields, okay, and you are filtering with the 4, okay, so that filter will be stored, okay, on your data server. What is the
The
result
removed
will come?
fields would be saved in data server, you mean?
Not removed, not removed. So let's say by default the table has 10 fields, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the fields will be there, right, in our environment, correct? Now you
Yes.
are using the filter, so the 10 field grid, let's say grid or record, is displaying, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but now what you want only 4 fields. So what you are doing, you will do the filtering, correct? Yeah, so the
Yes.
data for that 4 field or 5 field that you select, that will be stored on the data server, because filtering is for temporary purpose, correct?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Got it?
Yes. The ones which we have selected will be temporarily saved in data server.
Exactly.
What about the remaining one?
It will be there in the system itself, right? Until unless you are not clearing the filtering.
Okay. Okay. Here you mean 10 fields in the sense 10 records, or else
Exactly.
10 such as
10,
name,
let's say 10 records.
10 records. Okay.
Okay. It might a case like anything. There are 10 records. Record is nothing but the row. But let's say there are more, fields in a database. Let's say in my database, there are 22 fields. 22 fields, nothing but the column. Yeah. So for all 22 columns, I don't want to show all 22 columns. I only want to show 4 or 5. So that time also I will do the filtering, right? So we can do filtering in any either way, correct? So whenever you're doing
Yes.
filtering, it will temporarily store in the data server.
Okay. All right.
Got it?
And packages, how do we submit our project or sprints to the higher environment? In which form do we deliver it to the other environment?
Yeah, in the application package,
It's just a question.
zip. It's a
Application
dot
package. In
zip
which
format.
form do we receive the?
Dot zip.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We are receiving in
In
the dot zip
package
file.
form, dot zip files. Uh-huh.
Correct.
Okay. And in which form do we receive the project or POC or whatever?
Generally it be on a PDF format. Generally it will be on VSD Visio format. Generally it is on Word document. Anywhere we are getting it. We are just getting a flow. Based on flow, we need to
VSD.
generate entire application and all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get the requirements document in different forms, and submission would be in zip format. Okay.
Okay. Definitely later we will get
Yeah.
it more. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Yeah,
This is one of
Prakash.
the question which is being asked in interview.
Okay, that's good. So you can always say, okay, the first thing is correct. Second thing, generally, whenever we want to export, okay, to the higher environment, then we are using the .zip format.
Okay.
Export will be .zip, as well as if I want to import
Okay.
something, that will also be .zip format.
Uh-huh. What is Jira tool?
Jira tool, okay, that is nothing but Excel sheet, right? Likewise, there is a Jira to manage the user stories. So Jira tool is a part of the agile
For
methodology.
the sprint
Uh-huh.
planning, we use this Jira
Correct.
tool.
Yeah, where we can see the
Okay.
acceptance criteria and all of this.
Yeah, the user stories will be mentioning.
Uh-huh.
Correct. So you
Okay.
got this right. I think the meeting is going to auto finish. Yeah, Prakash. I think you called me, right? Prakash, you there? I'm not sure. Okay. So we'll cover the search server, file system, and rest of the architecture thing tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Rutul.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll meet on the same time.
Okay.